Hello everyone, and welcome back to the channel. I am Sandia the Mystic, and this is a high vibe space where we connect with ourselves with a capital S, okay? So today I wanted to come on here and do a collective reading. I was pulling some cards earlier and I just felt very compelled to come on here and just do a collective message for all of us. See what spirit wants to say, what we can channel here together on the channel, and yeah, hopefully come to some answers, some enlightenment, some empowerment, whatever wants to come out. So let's get into it. Spirit, connect me to the collective. Connect me with the collective. Spirit, use me as a vessel, a channel, and a guide for the collective. Speak through me to the collective. What does the collective need to know right now, Spirit? What does the collective need to know right now? Okay. Yeah. So right off the bat, you know, Knight of Wands energy, it's just making me think of like, we are in this time, and by this time, I mean that on so many different levels, right? I mean this generation, this era of technology, but also literally just this time, right? What's going on globally, culturally, etc. We're in this time where there is this overwhelm of information. We have information coming at us 24/7 from all different directions, and it is, the energy is anxious, it is erratic, it is chaotic, and it is like there's this fierceness to the information that we're getting, right? Because everybody has a message and everybody has passion, and everybody has an agenda, right? So because we're at this time, right? This time again, where there is such access and constant flow of energy, of information towards us, it's like we are constantly being bombarded with everybody's agenda, right? And that could be people's personal agenda, their financial agenda, right? Trying to make money off of you, trying to sell you stuff. It could be their political agenda, right? Trying to make you join a movement, leave a movement, believe in something, or walk away from something, trying to make you angry, trying to get your support, which, obviously there's a time and a place, and like it is important to be, it's important to be informed and to know what you do believe in and where you do stand and what you do support, right? But like, how much is too much, right? And then the Magician here, what's really beautiful about like these two cards together, the Magician is all about like, harnessing your tools, harnessing your power, harnessing your abilities to manifest your reality, right? And what's cool is he's holding in this depiction the wand, right? He has all of it. He has the wand. There's a wand here as well. Sword, cup, pentacles. That's all the elements, right? And he's holding the wand. Wand is about creativity. It's about action. It's about spark. It's about fire, things like this. So, and then swords are, intellect, language, information, things like that. So this could be a call for us all to set down, the things that are bringing that constant information of us, like get off the phone for a little bit, right? Like stop scrolling the news, stop scrolling Instagram or TikTok or whatever your preferred, social media is, and having people pushing their ideas down your throat, their agendas down your throat, pushing their like products down your throat, right? Like buy this, I'm hawking that, I'm hawking this, I'm branding this, I'm sponsored by that, like whatever. And no disrespect to people's hustle. Listen, we live in a material world and I am a material girl. Okay. So I understand that people got to make their money, right? But then you have to discern, we all have to discern, like, where is the line? Oops, sorry, I'm shaking the camera a bit. When am I just intaking too much from other people, right? And then instead, can I set down those, what's the word I'm looking for? Those portals, I guess, right? Those portals of information where people have access to us, like our phones, our computers, our iPads, our technology in general, our televisions. Those are portals, right? Those are portals that people can access us through and pour information into our brains, into our bodies, into our auras, our energetic spheres. So set down the portals, and then instead channel the energy creatively, right? Now, what does that mean for you, right? Creativity can show up in so many different ways. It can be through actually like making art, right? Drawing, painting, making music, writing, poetry. It could be through cooking. It could be through crochet, knitting, you could be, it could be through creativity can even mean, finding fun ways to bring your community together, right? Whatever is your creative expression, channeling our energy into that instead, especially when you feel the overwhelm, right? Especially when you need to set that boundary and be like, whoa, I am really, all of the information that's coming at me constantly is really starting to weigh on me, weigh on my energy, weigh on my mood, weigh on my ability to do anything but sit here and stare and ingest, right? Like, let me set that aside and instead do something creative. And I don't say that to put pressure, right? Because sometimes like, be creative, make something, that can feel like, that can be a lot of pressure, especially in the times when we are already feeling like quite depleted energetically. So think of creativity in a smaller way, smaller, more attainable way. Like pick some flowers from your yard and make an arrangement, and put that on the coffee table. And then every time you look at that, you'll be like, wow, that makes me happy. Like that's a form of creativity, whatever it can be. Like, be open, and be creative, right? In just different ways to be creative, to channel this energy instead. And that will be so much more, not only a way for you to refill your own cup, but honestly, that is a beautiful way to serve the collective yourself, right? To serve the greater, to serve the whole, is by channeling creative energy, whatever that means. Like, going back to that example of making the little bouquet for yourself, like, what you're doing there is you're creating this like beauty. You're creating beauty in the world is such a powerful means of changing the vibrational, atmosphere of where you're at. And when you can change the vibration of where you're at, it ripples, right? You can change the vibration of your home, your neighborhood, your community, and the world, right? And it seems like it's such a small act, but like it's if everyone did small acts like that, we would live in a different world. We would, right? So just be open to that. And then again, especially when you're feeling the overwhelm, especially when you're needing to set that boundary, can you channel it, redirect it in this kind of way, whatever that looks like to you, okay? To me too, right? Let's go a little further. All right. 8 of Wands. Yeah, in reverse. So listen, yeah, let me just pull one more before I get into that. Oh, or 2 more, or 3 more. This is how they came out. Okay. 8 of Wands in reverse, the Moon, 7 of Wands, 6 of Wands, 7 of Pentacles, or 7 of Cups. Wow, I cannot talk. I'm low energy today, you guys. So bear with me if like my brain is a little foggy. That's okay. It just speaks to these clouds right now. That's what I'm vibing on. Plus it's very overcast. Okay. 8 of Wands in reverse, right? 8 of Wands is typically like the fastest moving card in the tarot, right? It is like boom, boom, boom. Stuff is happening. Things are moving. There is momentum, whatever. 8 of Wands in reverse, right? This could speak to like, you might be feeling like in your life right now, you're making all these efforts, or you're trying to move through something in your life, and it's just not moving it's not moving, right? It's not happening as fast as you want it to happen. It's not like the timing just feels off, right? This could be something like you might be trying to create something for yourself in your career, right? Like you might be trying to like build a business. You might be working on a project, right? It could be a creative project. It could be some sort of entrepreneurial project. Or you could be like working on something at work and trying to get a promotion or whatever. And things feel stalled out, right? And there just doesn't feel like there's like movement or momentum. This could also be about, especially with the Moon here, this could be like you're going through some sort of healing. And I feel like we as a collective, we are healing a lot, right? Like on a big scale. And it can feel like, man, when am I going to get to the other side, right? When am I going to get to the other side of this? And that can be really frustrating. But the moon here is telling us, like, listen, there is stuff at work that we just can't see, right? The moon is about hidden things, feminine, dark feminine, unconscious, subconscious, right? And it showing up with the Eight of Wands here in reverse just makes me think of like, yes, it might not be working out in the timing, whatever it is that you're trying to do or move through or create for yourself. It might not happen in the timing that you want it to happen, but that's because like, not only are there other elements that are at play that are like potentially working with you, co-creating this with you, right? Eventually, right? It's like coming into with the Six of Wands, coming into that victorious place, right? Whatever it is that you're working through or working towards, like you will get to the other side. You will have success. It will manifest, but it might not look the way you think it's going to look. It definitely won't happen in the time that you think it's going to happen. So there is this element of surrender, right? With the Seven of Cups here too, that's a lot about like choices. It can be about like illusions, things like that too. So especially with it showing up in this second part of the reading, it makes me think like the things that you're trying to create for yourself, the phases that you're trying to move through in your life, the things you're trying to transform in your life, they are going to happen in a timeline that feels very out of control for you and your own personal timeline. And it's gonna manifest beautifully, but in a way that you can't even see right now, in a way that you can't even understand right now, right? So there's this element of surrender. There's this element of surrendering to like the divine timeline, right? The divine timing. Let me just do what I can, show up in the way I can, and just be authentic in my journey, right? Be authentic in my journey, whether it's my journey of healing, my journey of creating, my journey of building, whatever. Let me be authentic in that journey and then just trust the timing, leave the timing in the hands of spirit, leave the timing in the hands of the divine, leave the timing in the hands of karma, right? And then also be open to what I don't know, what I can't see, what I can't understand, the options that are trying to get to me right now that I'm not even aware of, right? Staying open and not being unspecific, right? So there's different kinds of manifestors, right? There's different kinds of manifestations. You can be a specific or a non-specific manifester. Now, the pitfall of being a specific manifester, right? Being very specific in your manifestations, really specific in your goals. I want to achieve X, Y, and Z with X, Y, and Z by this time, right? Or I want to, heal X, Y, and Z and then end up with X, Y, and Z and live here, whatever it is, right? The more specific your manifestations get, the more blocked and like tunnel visioned you become, because what ends up happening is all of these other like blessings, all of these other things that you can't see and that you can't even fathom right now have no way of getting to you because you are so hell like bent on a specific way of moving through whatever it is you're trying to move through, right? So be open to what it is you don't know, be open to what it is you can't see, and that is when the victories, the outcomes that you desire that you might not even understand, right, can manifest. And this just like, you might be feeling a frustration when it comes to that, and that's okay. Transmute that energy. This is circling back to the magician, right? Like transmute those negative energies, and I don't even want to like call them negative. Frustration is just frustration, right? It is what it is. But regardless, transmute that energy. When you feel this frustration, when you feel this angst of like, oh, why don't I feel better yet? Why aren't I healed yet? Why haven't I succeeded in this thing yet? Why am I still on level 1? Whatever it is, when you feel that energy, okay, you know what? Let me just transmute this frustration into something productive, something creative, right? And again, it can be small endeavors. It doesn't have to be like, let me just sit down and like rewrite my whole business plan. I mean, maybe that's what you need to do, but it could be just a small little thing. Let me pick some flowers. Let me rearrange the furniture in my office, get some fresh movement of energy, some fresh chi like in here, right? Whatever that might be. How can you transmute your frustration so that you can create more beauty in your life in general, right? But create more positive energies so that, all of these things can flow to you in divine timing, right? So there is this element of trust. Let's go further. What else does the collective need to know? Spirit. Oh, okay. lots of cards coming out. We've got Judgment, 5 of Cups in, see, freaking cloudy brain. 5 of Cups in reverse, Ace of Swords, Queen of Swords, and King of Cups. Wow. Okay. So listen, times are heavy, but we are coming out of that. You are coming out of that. And that doesn't mean that your the world around you is suddenly going to be different, but it starts on the inside, right? So Spirit is inviting you to come out of this time of heaviness and darkness, but that does mean bringing some discernment to the things in your life, right? What's been going on in my world right now that has not been contributing? Right? There is this element of judgment, this element of discernment so that we can move out of this energy. Some of you might be dealing with depression. Some of you might be dealing with, it could be seasonal depression, and we are coming up slowly on spring. So that might be why this energy is receding. It could be situational depression. You might be dealing with something going on chemically, hormonally, whatever. But it's like, okay, let's come out of that energy with some judgment, some choices as well, right? So it's like, what potentially contributes to those feelings of feeling low, of feeling apathetic, of feeling, someone said to me, mopey the other day, and that's kind of the energy, right? And where, if it's in my control, where can I transform that, right? That's a big message that's coming in. Transform, transmute. Right? Where can I transform and transmute things that don't contribute to my happiness and instead bring in the things that do? Right? So that could mean so for me, for example, I have been cutting out caffeine because I have been in this energy a little bit, right? And feeling very low energy, very tired, apathetic, dragging, things like this. And one of the first things I can think to do that could potentially help is just cutting out caffeine. Now that means dealing with the week of withdrawal, right? The caffeine headaches, the increased fatigue, whatever. But I do know, because I've done it before, that on the other side of that is always more energy, more vitality, clearer mental state, right? That's part of why my brain is so foggy. I'm on day 3 right now. So yeah, that's something I could actually do. That's a judgment I could make, right? That was a judgment I could make about my life right now, about something you know what? Drinking 2 cups of coffee per day is not serving me because it's not doing what I'm hoping it's going to do anyway. I don't feel energized, right? And there's enough data out there to know that is, it starts to work the opposite way, right? At that point. So what about you in your life, right? What are the things in your life? What are the judgment calls you can make in your life? Okay, cool. This thing that I am addicted to, or this thing that I am just allowing to continue into my day-to-day life, I know it's not really serving me. I know it's not really doing for me what I want it to do. So let me just cut that out. Or on the flip side of that, it could be this thing that does bring me some joy that I find time for, once in a while. I'm going to create more time and space for that. I'm going to create more a room in my life for those things that do bring me those moments of joy, whether that is hanging out with your friends, whether that is doing yoga, whether that is taking baths, spiritual baths, whether that is, back to it could be reading, it could be, like I said, drawing, painting, crocheting. It could be doing your nails, whatever, right? Small things, small consistent efforts to bring you out of this energy and into a place where you do get to experience more happiness, more contentment, more vitality in your life. It could also mean looking at your diet, right? What judgment calls can you make about your diet? What are things in your diet that you really don't need anymore? What are things in your diet that you really do need more of, right? How can you be more proactive in transmuting this energy, right? Ace of Swords, Queen of Swords, King of Cups, right? So that could also speak to Ace of Swords is all about new clarity, right? So this I think just doubles down on this energy, right? So even when I say this to you, when I give you these prompts of what could you do? What could you cut out? What could you bring in? And there is this mental clarity. There is this oh, probably this, right? That first thing that comes to your brain, that's what it is. Don't ignore that. Don't you first you get that first clarity, right? And then you might go through it and bury it with justifications or with doubt, right? So like going back to my example of caffeine, maybe when I said that, you were like, oh God, I really got to cut out caffeine too. I know that that's not helping me, right? That might've been your initial Ace of Swords, boom, clarity moment. And then it started getting buried. Like, no, I don't drink that much of it. I mean, just a cup a day and and I can't quit it because I can't afford a week of, mental fog. And and then it gets buried under the, what's the word? Rationalizations. And then guess what happens? Nothing. You stay exactly where you're at already. I mean, nothing can change if changes aren't made, right? So that's the thing, right? Whatever is the clarity that comes when you hear that prompt, go with that. Explore it and be bold, be brave, right? Queen of Swords, discerning. It's all this judgment, discernment. Like she makes the choice, right? She is clear. She is confident about what she knows and what she says and how she says it, right? So it's like, can you grab that, harness that mental clarity? Can you harness that spark of wisdom that comes to you when I give you the prompts of what to do, what to change, what to lean into, whatever? Can you harness that and own that and make that, like, make it real for you? It's already true for you. Can you make it real for you? Okay. King of Cups, for me in this reading, this energy is all about, like, honestly, it's this energy of like, there's this tendency right now to isolate. The King of Cups, while he is has a lot of emotional wisdom and maturity, he is rather isolated in that, right? And there can be this tendency right now when things feel bleak or when things feel heavy or when things just don't feel, the energy is just low and it feels stagnant. There could be this tendency to sort of isolate, to go in, to just ride solo. And listen, that could be like, there's two sides of that, right? It's like, yes, do take the time you need for yourself to be in your own energy, to recharge, right? If you don't have a lot to give, then don't push yourself, right? However, don't let yourself get so cut off from community that it then becomes this negative feedback loop, right? Where the more isolated you are, the more difficult it is to share your energy with other people, and then you become more isolated, and then the cycle goes on, right? So it doesn't mean like all of a sudden you got to become a social butterfly if that energy is not in you right now. That's totally fine. But perhaps it does mean, reaching out to people and creating some boundaries around it though too. Like, hey, listen, being honest. Hey, listen, I don't really have it in me to do a 4-hour hang tonight or whatever, but would you be down to meet up for coffee for like an hour, an hour and a half? Small hangouts, small gatherings, small one-on-ones, an hour, 2 hours, that's it. Whatever you have in you, you know what I mean? Once or twice a week, if that, right? Whatever you have in you, so that you don't get too isolated and you don't get too, like, I want to say almost agoraphobic, but it's not that intense. But it is this energy where we like, we want to retreat to like the womb, right? We want to retreat to the bed. We want to retreat to the couch and just be there in our own private world. And a little bit of that is necessary, but it's about pulling yourself out of that on a regular enough basis that you stay connected to the world around you. And then again, create boundaries around that feels good, right? Small hangouts with small groups, whatever feels possible to you. That's what you should do. Okay. Let's see. Do we have any other messages for the collective, Spirit? This feels kind of all over the place, but I hope it makes sense to whoever's watching, and you can use any part of it. All right, Spirit. Yeah. Any more messages for the collective? Okay. So we might be struggling to sleep lately. Let me get a better grip on these cards. Okay. So, okay. Yeah. All right. So we might be struggling to sleep lately a little bit, right? With the Nine of Swords, it's this energy. It's again, it comes back to this sort of anxious energy. Nine of Swords is like anxiety. It's insomnia. It could even be like back and shoulder pain, tension, right? So you might be struggling lately, as I said, with sleep, with your sleep schedule, especially with the time change. Sometimes that can really throw people off. Like an hour feels like it's nothing, but it can be a lot, right? So you might be struggling with sleep right now, and it could also just be feeling this like tired energy throughout the day, right? So it circles back to what I was saying about making the judgment calls about what are things you can cut out of your life or incorporate more of into your life to bring back some vitality, bring back some energy into your life, right? So this could be, you know what this energy says to me? It's like this energy of like not sleeping great at night and then being tired during the day. Right? So sleep hygiene could be a thing that you should examine for yourself. Like, what is your sleep hygiene, right? You might be someone that needs to like be off the screen for 30 minutes before you go to bed. You might be someone that needs to, do a warm cup of like chamomile tea or something before bed. Like you might have to really plan out your eating schedule so that it's a certain amount of hours before you go to sleep, or it's a certain types of food before you go to sleep that won't keep you up or that will help you sleep better, right? Maybe you should try some like meditation before bed, some nighttime yoga, some stretching, like whatever it is you can do, right? And again, any prompt that I give that really jumps out to you, that like there's that inner wisdom, that intuition that says, yeah, that's probably what I need. Go with that, explore that, right? Go with that and explore that, because like if you're not sleeping well and you're feeling exhausted during the day, then of course energy is going to feel low. Of course we're going to feel apathetic. Of course we're not going to get the same enjoyment out of things that we normally do get enjoyment out of, right? And with this Nine of Pentacles showing up, it makes me think of like literally being outside, getting into nature more, right? And sometimes that can be like, I know for myself too, sometimes like getting that prompt, like be in nature more, that can be almost like, again, it feels like pressure. It's like, oh God, now I got to make time to like go on a hike and do this and do that. Like small attainable goals, right? This could literally just mean a 10-minute walk outside. And circling back to that first message, when you're feeling that overwhelm of information, when you're feeling overwhelmed by the inpour, from all the technological portals, put the phone down, turn the TV off, whatever, go outside for 5 minutes, even 10 minutes. Just take a walk up and down your own street, right? Whatever it can be. Even just sit on your patio, sit on your porch if you have one, put your feet in the dirt, listen to the birds, anything that can sort of ground you and connect you to the reality that is right around you, your physical reality, right? And these things can also potentially help you sleep more, right? More fresh air, more just grounded energy in general could improve the quality of your sleep. So this could even mean potentially like taking walks in the evening. So maybe, and this is a message that's coming through, some of you need to take a walk after your dinner. Finish your dinner, and then maybe your normal go-to thing is to just get right on your phone or to do whatever. But before you do that, finish your dinner and then take a 5 to 10 minute walk around your block. If it's a safe place to walk, right? And it's not too dark or whatever, especially with the time change, it might still be light, and that's good. Like if it's safe, right? If it's not, there are other things you can do, right? But if that is something that is possible for you, maybe that's something to explore. You could take this walk with your partner if you're in a relationship, and then you guys can just like talk about your day or whatever. There are just so many, you can walk your dog at that time, right? You can walk by yourself, and just digest, right? Digest the meal, digest the day, and then start to sort of move in to that evening part of your day, right? Where you do start to wind down, where you do start to relax so you can get better quality of sleep and then have more energy in the waking hours. All right? Okay, fam. So this was the collective reading. Lots of different messages for different people, lots of different messages for us all as a collective. I hope something was, useful or resonated, take what resonates, leave everything else. If you're new here, please consider subscribing to the channel. It's a new channel. So all of my original subscribers, you early subscribers, you guys are my foundation. You rock. I love having you here. I want to hear from you in the comments. And then stay tuned. Make sure you're subscribed because I'm going to be doing another pick a card reading very soon. Okay. So thank you. I love you. Goodbye.